It's OK Football's Champ Chat, where we meet up at the pub and we have a little chat about all the games that's happened in the Championship this game week. And I got my co-host with me. I got Wedge.
Hello.
I got Phil.
Hiya.
Unfortunately, no Beefy this week. He's away for a few weeks, but our thoughts are with him, his friends, and his family. We love you, Beefy. We hope you're all good, mate. And we can't talk about Swansea versus Leeds at all. Well, we can't talk about any of the draws, can we? Because there are some absolutely boring ones. But this is recorded on a Sunday. Swansea versus Leeds hasn't kicked off yet, but this will be released either Sunday night or Monday. So we hope to have you all along with us for this wild ride that we're about to embark on. But let's also a quick reminder: if you're watching this, and you're not subscribed. Why not subscribe? We're a good time. We do a fair bit of Championship content, and there'll be even more as the season rolls on. Let's kick this off. Any game that takes your fancy that you want to chat about? Please, sir.
Performance of the week, please, sir. I'm going to put forward a former Hatter and a former Hornet. I'm going to go with Andre Gray.
I love that he celebrates no matter
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
he scores
He did it
against.
against us.
Yeah.
He did it
That
against us.
disallowed
Well,
goal,
that
yeah.
disallowed goal for
He scored
QPR.
it. Yeah, he did.
I love
I was thinking
Yeah.
about when he had the disallowed goal for Watford during COVID. He
Yeah,
went
he
off
did
and
it as well.
celebrated, didn't he?
Yeah, fair play to him. And I just want to say, Andre Gray, what a couple of goals. What a couple of goals. I know that we said we wouldn't talk about draws, but this was a great draw because, like I say, we are Luton fans running a Championship chat. But two spectacular goals, and we were talking about it on the way here, myself and Wedge, about the fact that if you were to say that Rooney played that long ball and Van Persie hit that volley, you'd be saying it was one of the goals of the season. Now,
it sort of P-rolled in a little bit.
It did a little bit, but
it
still,
wasn't like an arrow.
It wasn't, but
still a sweet hit.
To be able to get any contact on it when the ball's coming over your shoulder was absolutely superb. And then he topped it off with an absolute worldie in the last minute. So Andre Gray, performance of the week, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So
fair play.
Yeah.
I rate the fact that you celebrated as well.
Absolutely.
Just enjoys scoring goals, doesn't he?
He does. Loves it. I thought he was done when he moved to Saudi Arabia. And I think he moved to Saudi's second division, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have a second division. But when a player moves to Saudi Arabia, it kind of shows that they've lost the fire. That they don't really care anymore.
Picking up
Fair
a
play to
paycheck.
him. Yeah, exactly. You're picking up a large paycheck as well.
Yeah.
Tax-free paycheck. Wouldn't that be nice? But the way he celebrated those goals shows that there's still fire there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a good performance. I don't know really much else about how he played. I sort of flicked in and out of the game, if I'm honest with you. Like two finishes of that quality, you've got to be really loving it as a Plymouth fan. And the amount of late goals that Plymouth get, by the way, they are unreal. They just keep going and going and going and going. So fair play to Andre Gray, fair play to Rooney. I thought that was the individual performance of the week.
And team-wise,
as a team, I'm going to have to say Middlesbrough. I think that they're just ridiculous at the minute. There's 4 goals, 5 goals. 6 goals.
Yeah. Is it sustainable?
Who have they got next week? I don't know, but I'll be putting some minor bet on a 7 goal haul. Yeah, they were fantastic against Oxford. They're just clinical. They're just and Conway came on at the back end. I think he came on because Latte Luths started. I think.
Yeah, he came on. He had that goal where he sort of brought the ball in and then cut back shot.
Yeah.
To across to near post. Fine finish.
I think Middlesbrough were like I say, they were clinical. I was looking at stats. They had 16 shots and 12 of them on target, and they converted half of those as well. Yeah. Just seemed like everything went in. But I think that was throughout the league yesterday. The goals I watched, they were all good goals. They just seemed to be really good goals. And I think Middlesbrough 6 goals away from home.
It's a stark contrast for what they were like at the start of the season. We've been on this
they were creating so many chances, but they weren't actually putting them away.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's massive contrast.
The thing is, and I had a check on the Middlesbrough subreddit, and there was someone a few weeks ago that said we're creating chances. When it clicks, someone's in for a pasting, and They all right, you
yeah,
know.
3 of them in a row.
Three in
Yeah.
a row, yeah. It looks like it's clicked, and you know, I do think that they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They will, and I think if they continue this, unlike Sunderland, I think this is kind of sustainable because before Middlesbrough were underperforming the XG, creating so many, and just like you could have put the Benny Hill theme over their highlights, where it was just like chance, slice wide, chance, balloon it over, and you could have put it like 1.5 times speed. Whereas now, like those chances that they're creating, it's the same chances. It's just Latte Lath is finding the right side of the post and the underside of the bar.
Yeah.
It's tremendous, and I think Middlesbrough could actually go up this year.
Yeah.
It could happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. We say it all the time, don't we? The Championship is so streaky with people's different forms and things like that. I mean, Sunderland, they're on a bit of a tricky sort of period at the minute. And
Tricky period. The games haven't been that tough.
But what I mean is they've experienced tricky results.
Oh, in the sense that they're running out of steam.
Well,
like I predicted weeks ago, and all the Sunderland fans were like, "We're not running out of steam."
Still top of the table, isn't
Is
they?
it 4 draws in a row?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's they've been drawing a lot of games, and you think if they turned even half of those draws into wins, they'd be still flying. I mean,
You think they've got to be gutted about yesterday's result, 93rd minute
93rd
conceding, and they could have been 2 points clear at the top if they hadn't conceded that
As
goal
it
against
stands,
Millwall. But
as it stands, by the end of the weekend, they could not be top.
yeah,
You know,
But
opens the door for Leeds.
Lebris got it wrong. He got it tactically wrong, and the thoughts from the Sunderland fans is there's got to be a bit more tactical adaptation there. And if it's not a case of getting the ball out to Mundle, if Mundle hasn't got a good game in him, then they struggle.
I mean, the goal was very good, by the way.
Yeah.
Just to give a shout out to Sunderland's goal. It was a wonderful volley from the edge of the area. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those things having a plan B. And the reality of it is you can go on these lovely streaks in the Championship, but people do their due diligence that you'll get caught out. You'll get found out. So
I know we speak about Sunderland there, but what about Millwall? I mean, they're on a bit of a flyer
Millwall's
at the moment.
form is unreal.
Beating Leeds, beating...
And they're all 1-0s as well, you know?
Yeah.
1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and then a 1-1.
Yeah.
And Millwall's equaliser yesterday was attacking from Sunderland, having a glorious opportunity to put it 2-0. And
Millwall did well.
Straight up the other end. And
second
equalised.
half, I think Millwall were on top. I've always been personal club rivalries aside, I like the fight that Millwall have, and especially under Gary Rowett, I've always been quite I don't want to say big fan. I like what they're about.
Yeah.
I like that fight because they're sort of like the other side of the coin of Luton, aren't they?
It's one of those
ratty teams.
Yeah. I mean,
it's never going to be easy, is it?
No, it's not going to be easy for them to go up. But it's equally, I don't look at Millwall and think, oh, you're going to go down this year. They're just, I know that they've had tricky times the last couple of seasons at certain points where things look precarious, but they're just the archetypal Championship side. They're always there. And it's one of those ones where when we do our predictions, at the moment, I would back
always
Millwall
1-0
1-0 or 1-0, whatever it is. But the reality of it is that they're a tricky one to consistently be able to know what they're going to do because they can be quite streaky, I think. But yeah, like fair play to them. They've got a point, especially in the way that they've got it. That'll feel like a win ultimately.
Yeah.
93rd minute to come back against Sunderland. So yeah, they'll be feeling quite happy about things.
Yeah, Neil Harris done a proper job there as
Yeah.
well. Like after the start of the season, where just goals were going in both ends.
Yeah.
Like so many. Like I think they had a 4-3. So
Yes.
many goals.
3-2 loss, 1-0 win, 4-3 loss, wasn't it?
It was mad. It was
Yeah.
absolutely mad. But now I think normality has sort of resumed, and this is Neil Harris's sort of. I hate the word philosophy when talking about football management because I think philosophy is a word that people use when.
That's the method they use to win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's something that other people point to when, when you're like Russell Martin and you can't get the ball out your own 18-yard box.
Yeah.
Because you just pass. Did you see? It's a bit of a sidetrack. There was a fantastic own goal scored, a passing out the back own goal scored in non-league. I don't know the team. I'll tell editor Kate to try and splice it into the show. It's fantastic. It's like, you know how you pass out the back, you pass it to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper sort of moves away from the goal mouth. So he was trying to spray the ball out to his right back or right centre back. He ended up spooning it straight into his goal, hit the post, and went in. It was fantastic. I'll send it to you afterwards.
Okay, I'll look.
I'll try. I'll see if editor Kate will put it into the overlay it over this.
Yeah.
It was one of the best own goals.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it was.
There was a good own goal yesterday, by the way, with the Norwich West Brom game.
Yeah. Well, a tremendous segue there.
It was.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Thank you very much. It was
that was clinical, wasn't it? That was, yeah.
Clinical segue or a clinical own goal?
Both, you know.
But yeah, no, it was the sort of skill of Borgia science again. I think that we've been talking on our other show about upcoming games, and we know that we've got Norwich next week, and the reality of it is that everyone fears Borgia Science doing something for Norwich. He's the one, and he sort of forced an own goal yesterday. And Norwich have been on a bad run, but they looked the better team yesterday from what I saw. I think that West Brom had to sort of snatch an equaliser at home. So
well, that's what West Brom do really well.
Yeah,
draw specialists 2-2 at Desmond's for West Brom.
Yeah, so it's I thought that Norwich were probably, much like some of the other teams in this league that have had a difficult time recently, they probably needed the international break, and getting a couple of goals away from home, that can't do them any harm, even if a West Brom player was the goal scorer of one of them. So I thought that was a decent enough point for him.
It's quite mad because when I think of Norwich, I think of them slapping teams, 4s, 5s, just scoring goals for fun. Borja Sainz being top scorer in the league. And then you look at the table, and they're only like a point above, like that mess of teams that's just like stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
They're not having a great season. They're consistently inconsistent. Only a point above Luton Town, who by all stretches is having a very bad season.
Yeah.
So it's pretty weird.
Well, you look at that kind of section, and there's 12 teams, I think.
It's mad.
Separated by 5 points.
Well, look at Millwall. Four
This is it,
wins
they're right
back to
up
back.
there.
They went from 20th to 4th.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, it is mad. It is mad. But it's it's one of those ones that I think yesterday as well, with the way that the results were, there were a lot of draws, as we've said, and it meant that if you did manage to get a win, then you made leaps and bounds. I mean, Luton Town's game was one of those ones where I think they gained about 5 or 6 places just from a 1-0 win. Just purely because of the other people around them all drawing. I mean, Preston had a 1-1 draw with Derby.
Not much to say about that one.
Not much to say about that, but we've mentioned them. So Preston, well done for the draw against Derby. And then there's QPR versus Stoke.
That was a crazy one.
It was actually quite a good. From what I could see from the highlights package, I thought the QPR did really quite well. I think
Missed Le Pen as well, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, they seemed to be like they were the sort of
a
main
great
ones in
goal.
control.
It was
But
a
Tom
great
Cannon's
goal.
was-
Miss Penn.
Yeah.
Tom Cannon's an interesting one. A disloyal goal for handball as well. There's a lot of discourse on the old Reddit from Stoke fans, and it's an interesting one. Stoke fans feel they're being gaslit into thinking Pelach is all that, when in reality it's being heavily propped up. Not much has changed. It's being heavily propped up by the fact that they have a fantastic goalkeeper in Vic Johansson, who's an amazing goalkeeper. I would have taken him, although we have a great goalkeeper anyway. But he's a sensational goalkeeper, and then they have Tom Cannon.
Yeah.
So in reality, Stoke aren't doing really that well. It's just having such a great goal scorer. I think the exact words were the best striker we've had for years at Stoke, and I think that's a very fair assessment about Tom Cannon.
I was really upset that we weren't linked to him.
What do you mean we were linked to him? We are Luton Town fans, by the way. Yeah, we were linked to him. I don't think we could afford.
We didn't get it through then.
I'm
I'm really upset we didn't sign him. Let's change my wording. Yeah, but like I said, because he had a good season last year as well, didn't he? He helped Leicester get promoted, didn't he? So yeah, very very good player. So
and before that, he was at Preston as well. So he has lots of championship
experience. Yeah, and so they've got a real good in there, and like I say, they will be keen not to let that talent go wasted on another season. So.
So we done the draws then.
We have done the draws, even though
yeah,
we
we
said we
done
weren't
the-
going to. We've done the
Coventry,
draws.
Sheffield United.
Yeah,
was,
one more draw to talk about.
bit of
Coventry
a-
2, Sheffield United 2. Are you an advocate of putting your hands around people's throats, Wedge?
I'm not, but I also, I mean, that's
He was asking for it.
yeah, that's a red card. That is a red card. But you look at the Coventry player, and he's rolling around holding his head and stuff like that. I mean,
Norman Bassett.
Yeah,
There's-
Phil messaged me. He was like, he gave the old Ronaldo
He
wink.
did give the
as
wink,
well.
didn't
He's
he?
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
and he did a
shit,
little
I watched it.
like that as well. Like,
Yeah.
there's the repercussion. There's got to be a
He
repercussion.
didn't just do one wink though.
No.
He did a couple of winks because he wanted to make sure the camera got
Yeah.
him.
He was being proper flirty, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got,
Proper CR7 style.
Yeah.
Proper CR7 style. Yeah.
But yeah,
Absolute housery. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he knew what he was doing.
yeah, it was interesting though, that game, because there was a couple of sort of ex Coventry, I don't know whether legends is the right word, but like ex Coventry fan favourites in O'Hare and Hamer went back, and
I
Gus
don't
Hamer
think
got
they
a
were
got an
happy.
assist.
I
No.
don't think Cov fans were happy seeing them both back, because the way Cov fans see these two, they left for the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
left for the Premier League and then
Especially
straight
Callum
back
O'Hare.
down.
Especially Callum O'Hare, yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't get a very good.
No. No, I think Cov
Assembly.
were always better without Callum O'Hare, to be honest.
I still think that they're just a thoroughly good side, Coventry. I know that they've had a tough start to the season, and that there's a real sort of disagreement about whether it's the right thing to get rid of Mark Robins or not.
It wasn't the right thing.
I don't think it was the right thing.
No.
No.
I think that most people looking from the outside in kind of go, look at what he's done for your club.
He got a
don't disrespect
honorary
him.
doctorate or degree from the University of Coventry. Even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they put
Really.
something up on their big screen
I
just they
d-
saying thank you, Mark, and you're like,
Yeah.
but either
It's
way,
a bit of perspective as well. You look at where Coventry are, and there's a lot of teams around them in exactly the same position. So whether it's the board trying to
yeah.
take that initiative and try and pull away, but I
don't think
it is
Lampard's
the
the
right-
choice, though. I don't think Lampard's the option.
No.
No.
I can't think of anyone else that will have the same impact that Mark Robins had, but maybe they're looking for a new chapter. But Frank Lampard is not the person you want leading
No.
you into that new chapter.
No, surely not. Surely not. Like, I just don't understand why his name gets linked with these things. I mean, the other name that was linked to it quite strongly was Ruud van Nistelrooy. And like when you think about what he did over in the Dutch league and the fact that he's learnt some stuff with Man United, took charge of them for 4 games recently and like built their confidence, did really well. I'd be sooner looking at him than I would at Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard's sort of history as a manager has not been great. He's fluffed it with Derby when he had an absolutely exceptional team.
That
He
team
did,
was
yeah.
ridiculous.
and he didn't get them up. He went to Chelsea, and I know that there was extenuating circumstances.
They did
with
all right, though. He did all right with the youth.
Yeah, he did all right with them, but
Yeah.
and there was obviously the transfer embargo and stuff like that. But then
And he was back there for the
Everton-
second time as well. Everton, he was
crap.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't
He's
know.
not the
I mean,
one.
maybe he's just looking for a reset. Maybe he feels like it's the perfect place to go back down into the Championship and start rebuilding his name again, because he hasn't done it in the Premier League. But I also don't think that Coventry should be subjected to Frank Lampard when they've had Mark Robins. But hey ho, we'll see how that pans out.
It'd be funny to see if Lampard does absolutely fantastically well.
Fair play to him. I will eat my words, and I'll. Yep, no problem. Not that he will listen to this anyway, but yeah.
And another one where we're eating our words is Scott Parker, Burnley. That's an interesting one. So another 1-0 win. It's like
Which-
Sean Dyche just pulled on a wig. And,
Which could so easily have been a draw had that handball been given, because it was a blatant handball, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I think.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And it's one of those ones where we said earlier on in the show about how Middlesbrough have turned it round and that they can't stop scoring, and that whereas they had problems before. Burnley absolutely thumped Luton at the start of the season, and then since then they've not scored many goals. We were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, they've
weren't
averaged one goal a game.
we? Yeah,
If you take out the 4 that he scored against Luton in the first game.
really efficient.
Yeah.
Let's face it, points per goal, they are smashing it.
yeah.
doing
and that's
absolutely
not a
brilliantly.
problem. I don't know
It's
why
not.
Burnley fans are complaining.
No. If you're not conceding any goals, you're
Yeah.
going to pick up points.
Yeah.
They're expecting free-flowing football. I'd much rather be really solid look like you're going to score a hatful of goals but only score one, but look like you're never going to get scored against.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that it's just one of those things. They've got these exciting players, haven't they? They've got the likes of like Koleosho, they've got Jaden Anthony that can.
That was his best performance for Burnley yesterday.
Yeah,
fantastic performance.
And that's the thing; those two alone can light up games. And apparently, Jay Rodriguez was fantastic for him yesterday. They were saying, I read a few comments from Burnley fans about the fact that actually he might not be the ultimate goal scorer, but his nous and his cleverness, and he's bringing people into the game and being able to be that sort of linchpin up the top to allow those energetic younger players to go about their business was a real improvement on their performance yesterday. So.
Well, J-Rob was never the same after that ACL that he got when he was at Southampton. Because I remember he was being mooted for a big money move, and then he got the ACL, and not just a big money move, he was also getting mooted for an England call-up ahead of a tournament. I think we had to take Ricky Lambert instead. Yeah.
We've come a long way, baby.
Ricky Lambert only looked good because he had Lallana behind him and J-Rod next to him.
Yeah.
That was a crazy Southampton team.
He still scored one of the best goals I've ever seen at Kenilworth Road.
Ever. Who, Ricky Lambert?
Ricky Lambert, I think it was when he was at Bristol Rovers. I think he was at Bristol Rovers. And he scored like a 30-yarder underneath the crossbar.
On the volley,
and it was unbelievable strike. Like, so as much as we've just besmirched his name, what a great goal.
He had a very good career.
He did.
He got picked up by Liverpool at the age of 30, and Liverpool made some questionable signings in terms of strikers.
Yeah.
They've come a long way as well.
They have indeed. I think there's only one more game that we haven't discussed. Is Luton 1 Hull 0.
Yeah,
a
dominant display from Hull.
Most exciting.
I'll see how much mileage I can get out of that joke.
Yeah. It was
dominant on the score sheet. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I think there's an argument that Hull could have won 3-1. There's an argument that Luton defence meant that they deserved the victory. It was
defensively, it was fantastic.
It was defensively. I think that anyone that came down from Hull would have been treated to one of the more boring games and more boring atmospheres they've ever experienced. Because
Hull fans were fantastic.
They were good. They were
good. You know, so much noise.
Yeah.
And even after they saw their team slip to another loss, like they were making a lot of noise, and fair play to the Hull fans. Yeah. They were saying, "Is this a library?" It was yesterday.
Felt like it,
was yesterday. And I want to say, like, I know that there's a bias. We always go on about this bias on this show, but I was so gutted.
I've realised we got the Luton Town Table Club, but we forgot to take it off before this.
Whoops. My bad.
Sorry, editor Kate.
How good was Cody Drammer yesterday?
Oh, he was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was so good. And he's playing at left back. And when I spoke to Ant in the week for the opposition preview, he said about the fact that he's been playing at left back because of how good Coyle is, but also how poor Ryan Giles is. And I was looking forward to seeing how Drammer would do, and he was fantastic. His range of passing, he just pinged it.
Not just composure when he turns a man,
and the running with the ball was fantastic.
What a player!
Luton Town missed out on getting him.
Absolutely gutted.
Yeah. And tremendous player.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of Leeds fans have got sort of mixed reviews on him. Some of them think that he's great. Some
Leeds fans didn't see him. They don't know.
This is it. I just think that the guy is just wasted.
The last time we saw Cody Drammer was against Sunderland in playoff semi-finals, and he was just chasing down balls and
absolutely brilliant
great
display. So I thought that he was fantastic yesterday.
What was very funny, and disclaimer, we are Luton Town fans here, so we were all at this game, was when Ryan Giles came off at the end of the game. It was like polite smattering of applause, and then Cody Drammer comes off. It's like everyone's cheering Cody Drammer.
Like deservedly so.
Like, Ryan Giles, he was barely in the building, was he?
Yeah, we done a proper
8
number.
games.
Yeah, I mean we've not only did we beat Hull, we've done a right number on them by selling them Ryan Giles.
Yeah.
They'll sell him to Middlesbrough, and then Ryan Giles will step up again. Will he get into the Middlesbrough team? He probably would.
No. Never in a million years. He's useless.
I know. I think he only wants to be at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why there was always that chat about as soon as he moved to Hull, it was like, oh, yeah, well, he's moved to Hull permanently. I think now he's going to move to Middlesbrough. That was the
That's
plan.
If they can get rid of him. Middlesbrough aren't going to want to have...
Well,
it's been
Michael
like 18
Carrick
months.
Michael
he might,
Carrick,
but it's been like 18 months since he left for Luton. His form's been dreadful since. Like,
means they can pick him up really cheap because he's done nothing.
Maybe.
He's only played 20 games since he left.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, get him on the cheap. Why
Maybe.
Sold him for, buying for a fraction for what they sold him to us for.
Yeah. Well, no. Middlesbrough didn't sell. It was Wolves.
Wolves,
Yeah.
Wolves, right.
Wolves are probably looking at this and thinking, "Where's our sell on?
Yeah.
Like, where are all these performance bonuses?
Keep hoping.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Wolves. You've got Mateus
Yeah,
Cunha. Bergkamp in disguise yesterday.
What a player.
Yeah.
My God, what a goal. What a couple of
Ridiculous
goals.
player. I have him in my fantasy team. And as you know, I play actual fan tracks football where every point matters. I'll show you the points I have from Mateus Cunha afterwards. I'm top of my league. This is pure draft fantasy football. None of this FPL rubbish where you only get points for a goal, an assist, and a clean sheet. This is proper fantasy football I'm talking about. I'll show you. He smashed it. 27 points for me yesterday.
Nice.
Key
Very
passes, dribbles. I love it. Absolutely perfect. What a player. He's not going to be at Wolves for long. Man City will sign him and ruin his career. Man City. What is that? Five losses on the spin.
In a row. Love it. We've actually got a Premier League this year. Got a Premier League where actually multiple people could still win it, and Liverpool must be rubbing their hands together. Good on them.
Yeah, just wait for them to bottle it.
So,
Southampton win today.
We'll see what
Liverpool
happens.
have been really efficient.
They've got to get out of their 18-yard box, mate. Southampton.
That's true. And they've not got Ramsdale to rely on today.
They haven't?
No, he's injured. He's out until New Year.
No, oh my God. Well,
so
that's them going down, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, that was Championship chat, and I hope you enjoyed it, even though there was a little bit of Premier League chat mixed in there.
And conference as well,
And
non-league
conference.
football, covering all the leagues.
We'll share that on our socials. I'm going to have to find that own goal because it was one of the best own goals I've ever seen. Like, I'm not an advocate of playing out the back. I think playing out the back is stupid, and it needs to be cut out. And Pep Guardiola has gaslit everyone into thinking, we've got to play out the back. But the reality is, Edison has 5 assists. They only play out the back when it is convenient to them. But Edison will go long.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Unlike what Hull did yesterday. Every single goal kick was just a little rollout.
They rolled it and then they thumped it.
Yeah.
As well.
I don't understand it. That's the way it is. Yeah. But we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments who impressed you this week in the Championship. You can tell us your star of the week, the star team of the week. We'd love to hear from you. But as always, a big thank you to our audio partners, Blackstar Amplification and Carry On, for making sure that we sound great. Also, a big thank you to the Record Shop in Amersham, wherever you are in the country. If you collect vinyl, go check them out. You can say that you follow and watch the OK Football Show. Point to the sign. There's a great sign of us all wearing white shirts with the name of our show. Across our chests, all photoshopped lovely, so we all look really tight and slim. And that you might get a discount. Just be nice about it. Don't come complain to us in the comments. It's happened. It's happened, hasn't it? Just be nice when you go there, and they'll give you a nice little discount on your vinyl. And also a big shout out to our host today, the Bricklayers Arms. Really good, great beer on tap. I've had a Brixton IPA. So's Phil. You've had a cider.
Little Stowford.
Yeah, so weird.
Thank you.
Why would you like cider? To be honest, Strongbow put me off cider.
That's why you don't like cider, because Strongbow is terrible.
So you're saying I should try it again?
Yes, have a Henry Weston's Vintage.
That sounds proper hipsterish, doesn't it?
It's an 8.2%
Oh,
beautiful
crikey.
cider.
Definitely won't be able to drive after one of those.
Well, no, do not drink and drive.
Should we sign off by all singing about Andre Gray?
Andre Gray,
my lord, Andre Gray. Andre Gray, my lord, Andre Gray.
Thank you all for tuning in. Take care, everyone.